Welcome to Taking Off with the Gary Chicago Airport Show. I'm your host, Pastor Marion J. Johnson, Jr. This program is designed to show the many exciting things that's going on at the Gary Chicago Airport, and to give you an opportunity to meet some of the many exciting people. And we have one of those gentlemen here today, Mr. James Ward.
Hello.
He's the marketing director at the airport and doing a marvelous job. So, Mr. Ward, as we start, why don't you give us some basic information about yourself, where were you schooled, and just give us a gamut about your family and all. Just take an umbrella of your background.
All right, as you're probably aware, you have the black and gold on today. I'm a Roosevelt graduate and also a Morehouse graduate. And you know, I've worked in different non-for-profits and organizations here in Northwest Indiana, and this is a great opportunity to work with the Gary Chicago International Airport to see it take off. No pun intended. So I'm excited to be here, and you know, my family. As I moved to Dallas a few years ago, and now I'm back in the area, they're happy to see me here, especially my dad and my mom, and my sister has a daughter that I'm happy to be around, my niece a little bit more often, and it's just an exciting time to be back here.
Okay, so your formal schooling was done here. You graduated from Gary Roosevelt High School.
Correct.
And your father and your mother, tell us something about them. Do you have any sisters and brothers?
Yeah, my dad, he's a graduate of Roosevelt, class from 1960, James C. Ward Jr. Okay. My mom graduated from Frable. She's a Blue Devil. And I have two sisters, Janae and Janine. They both graduated the same year. And the interesting about it, one was valedictorian, Janae at Westside, and Janine was the salutatorian at Westside. And then I have a younger brother named Jared.
Okay, and you went from there to Morehouse. Tell us how you decided to make Morehouse the place where you carry on your further education.
Now, the interesting story about that is that I didn't intend on, or didn't really want to go to Morehouse for various reasons, and a lot of it had to do with self-identification. Some of the issues that I had with seeing how my environment was and thinking it would be similar in Atlanta, Georgia, at Morehouse. But I had a high school counselor named Marcia Sullivan, and she insisted with my mom that I go and take a visit to Morehouse College. And I said, okay, I'll go, since you guys are recommending me to just take a look. Otherwise, I was planning on staying here at one of the state universities because of the fact that I had so many offers for scholarships. So once I got down to Morehouse College, at first I was a little like, this was why I don't want to be here, because I was on the yard. And the brothers at the time, I'm dating myself, were wearing the starter jockers and the gazelle glasses. Yeah. But the amazing thing that happened once we went into the classroom, the glasses came off, the jackets came off, and these young men became philosophers, mathematicians, scientists, preachers. And I had never, ever been around that many African-American young men with that type of attitude. Not to mention that Spelman was across the street as well, and Clark Atlanta University and Morris Brown. And it was just one of the best 4 years of my life. It was an amazing experience for me. So I would always recommend those who have not visited a historical black college or university to take a semester and maybe do an exchange there, because a lot of the students end up not going back to their original school because of the education you get about our history and where we came from, and the different issues from the African American perspective was just mind-blowing to me. And as a result of that, it gave me a new lease on life and a perception of who I was and who I am, and as we as African Americans, and some of the struggles we went through, and why it's still somewhat of a issue even in our daily lives today. But I would recommend for those who are African Americans to take a visit, not just at Morehouse or Spelman, but some of the other ones, because the education you get from those schools would be geared towards you and help you to see a brighter future.
Okay, so was your major always marketing, or this is something that you got into along the way? Did you have was it always in the back of your mind in which direction were you going, or did you find direction a little later?
Yes, I found direction a little later. When I went to Morehouse, my intention was to be a dentist. I had actually did an intern with Dr. Charles Wesley. He was a local dentist here in the area. And I was in a program called Career Beginnings that allowed us to do internships with different professionals that we had an interest in. And so during my first year at Morehouse, even Harvard had come to visit our school and was offering us scholarships already as freshmen to go to dental school. And For some reason, maybe you're aware that sometimes when you're labeled as a smart student, and I wasn't smart, I just studied a lot, they often point you in the direction of a lawyer, doctor, engineer, and none of those really interest me. So I said maybe I go into the medical field as a dental person. And after my second year, I just didn't love the science at all. So I went into psychology. And they say there's two types of people to go into psychology: those who want to identify themselves and those who want to understand people. And mine was, I just want to figure out who I am and what are my thoughts, because after going to Morehouse and being in that environment where I saw so many African American people driving the nice cars and living in big houses, and Atlanta is just a mecca for African Americans, I said, well, let me go into psychology. And from there, I taught school here in the school system for a while at Kennedy King. I was a 7th grade science teacher, and then I worked in the evening as a mental health specialist at several different hospitals, but my last hospital I worked at was North Lake Family Hospital, which is now the public safety building. And that closed in '95, and then they were talking about laying off teachers in '96, and I started looking for another job, and the company Pfizer came up. And I applied to Pfizer and got hired during the interview, and they moved me to New York.
Oh, okay.
So that's my journey into marketing and sales.
So what did you learn in New York that helps you to do what you do now?
Well, Pfizer, the way they set you up, you have a territory, and they set you up with your own business for the most part, where you have supplies or giveaways that you can take. They teach you how to organize your call cycle and the things of that, like that. And then during the evenings, a lot of times we do a lot of dinner programs where you invite doctors out, bring in speakers to speak on behalf of your product or an ailment that your product serves. And so that organization and teaching you how to run a business and manage your budget was valuable. And as a result, I started working with another organization called the Terry Williams Agency, just helping out. And they started doing events for like Puff Daddy, Mary J. Blige, Shefflin and Somerset, which is a liquor distributor. And I got really excited about doing these events because it was so exciting to put something together and see people come together and have a great time. And as a result of that, I decided to switch my careers from sales into marketing, promotion, and event planning. And that's when I ended up coming back to Gary, working as the director of sales for the Genesis and then the Radisson, and then back here with the city, I guess the deputy director for economic development, being involved with the Miss USA pageant, helping to organize the fun run walkathon for the Sickle Cell Disease Association of Northwest Indiana, and since then it's just been flourishing. And while I was in Dallas, I worked with the organization called the Black Academy of Arts and Letters, affectionately known as T-Ball. And down there I did the membership and marketing and social network sites for them, and it was just an amazing opportunity to continue my career.
You did some time at Edgewater with Dr. Hughes also, right?
Correct.
Danita Hughes, Johnson, Danita Hughes.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I just attended the gala, which I used to help organize and plan, and that right there was an enjoyable time as well, putting that together so that my degree being in psychology and being able to raise funds for an organization that helped provide those with mental health issues was an amazing experience. And here again, another way to help me hone my skills by planning these events, silent auctions and asking for donations and putting together advertisement. It was a valuable experience for me.
Okay, so you're saying your background in mental health helps you to work with the Gary Chicago International Airport.
Well, you have to understand people, and you have to understand yourself. And more importantly, which here again, going back to Pfizer, Pfizer taught us how to identify people by talking with them. And here again, there's 4 different type of personality styles overall. And when you are able to identify the type of person when communicating with them, then you're able to speak their language. So I always use this example. If you go to Japan and you want to communicate, you have to speak Japanese. And so if you have those 4 different personality types and you understand one is a driver, he only want to hear the bottom line facts. If you're dealing with an analytical person, they want to hear all the stats and the facts of why this is accurate. And then you have a person that may be what you call an amiable. They want to be well-liked. So they want to explain how is this going to help me to be well-liked. And then the expressive is like what I call like the Dennis Rodman. They want to understand how is this going to make me look good. So usually you tailor your speech or your presentation to the audience that you're dealing with.
Okay, so when you came on with Mr. C Landuse, our interim director.
Correct.
And what kind of relationship do you have with him, and what kind of personality is he?
Now, we just talked about this yesterday, as a matter of fact. His birthday is 2 days before mine. His birthday is actually tomorrow, October 26th, and mine is October 28th.
And I'm 29.
Oh, wow. Well, congratulations on being a Scorpio. Okay. Whole nother story. But that's what I mentioned to him. You know, I'm a very spiritual person, but, you know, a lot of times you read about other things. And I said, Scorpios are known to be great business partners. But you have to be aware of the type of person that you are, because it can be very moody at times and can be very vindictive. So if you know that, you try to keep yourself from being in those situations. So, yeah, Steve is one of those guys. He's by the book. Scorpios are known to be very loyal. And he's very technical, so he understands how and what's going on with the airport, especially with that runway expansion, which is so vitally important. He's doing an excellent job of managing that. And I love being able to have him to watch and look over this contract, because he's so technical. He said, well, we need to address this, we need to address that. And he's very concerned about making sure that we use the taxpayers' money effectively and correctly.
Okay, also there's others that you have inner workings with at the airport, so just tell us about your relationship with the staff as a whole. I know you haven't been at that long, but it seems as though we've been knowing you a long time.
It does seem like that. It's because of the family atmosphere that we have here, with Nate Williams being the president, you being the vice president, and the other board members. Immediately during the interview, as I probably mentioned, you may recall that I said, wow, I feel like, you know, I'm part of the team already, because the energy that everyone is excited about making sure the Gary Chicago International Airport takes off, and make sure that we're doing things effectively, so that when we are ready by December 2013 and that's completed, that we're ready to continue to move forward, and not just planning, but actually are ready to accept additional airlines, to go after more freight and cargo, sports teams, and taking some of the those airlines and those different types of organizations that the Midway in Chicago may want to push towards us, because they want to have more commercial airlines. And so that would give us a great opportunity to really, create more jobs, because you're going to need more people handling baggage, helping with the freight, doing fueling. So that's one of the things that I'm excited about, that as this airport grows, the region grows, and we create more jobs for those regionally.
Honorable Mayor Karen Freeman Wilson, she's right there in the trenches also, and I know you've had some dealing with Lee Morris, Harley Snyder, and all those at the RDA. So tell us your relationship with those two groups.
The RDA has been great. Lee Morris, you know, I love his presence, you know, and his voice. Harley, one of the most stylish guys that I know, him and his bow ties. Bill Hanna, when I first met him, he made an impression upon me. And everyone has been awesome. Dave Wellman, he helps out sometimes with the marketing that we're doing with some of his writing skills. And so the RDA has been excellent. The staff, you know, it's kind of funny because we're acting like a family in there, and we have Dee and Peaches and Lynn. Those ladies are outstanding. I love working around them, and they're very pleasant, as well as some of the contractors that are there that are here helping out with the airport. Those gentlemen are just polite, nice. A lot of them stop by the office and we, you know, chit-chat about different things, and it's just a family atmosphere, and everyone focus is to make sure that this airport moves forward, using Obama's words, lean forward as MSNBN. We all are on that same page, where we want to make sure that this is setting the ground for future, beyond where we will be around, that Gary can continue to benefit from this airport.
Tell us about some of your present initiatives, some of the things that you have going on now, the things that you're working on, and what are those? What are some of those initiatives, and what led you in that direction when you decided to go out and market? Do you have a specific purpose or a specific group that you're marketing to? So just give us the gamut on the marketing scheme for the airport now.
Great. What we have is we have two other marketing consultants that are work with the airport. Their focus is to look at the airlines and different industries that they can bring here to the airport. My focus is being with the airport was to work with the grassroots, the community, to spread the message out there to the community. So when I first came on board over the summer, I came up with the idea of a quest. Most people are very familiar with scavenger hunts and enjoy those. It kind of brings the childlike atmosphere to you, and you go out there and you have some fun looking for all these clues. And during the process of planning the quest, Allegiant decided they wanted to do a promotion called Vote for Vacation, which was a play off the presidential election that we're currently going through. Their project was to take 3 tour buses and go to make 77 stops at all the airports where they have flights taken off from. Allegiant Travel Company is the parent company to Allegiant, and they're a travel agency company that happens to own their own airplanes. And so they travel during vacation season. So during September, October, at the airports around the country that they fly out of, they cease, or what they call seasonal adjustment, where they stop flying for a period of time. We experienced that seasonal adjustment for 6 weeks, and they're back flying as of October 18th. As a matter of fact, I saw one take off on the 16th, and I was like, wow, Allegiant just took off on a Tuesday, but it was one of the charter flights that they offer. So we're back flying, and with the Vote for Vacation, you got a chance to vote for your favorite vacation destination, but with our particular location, since we only fly to Orlando on Thursdays and Sundays, it was the vote for your favorite vacation activity. And what they did was they gave their grand prize winner 4 years of free flights through Allegiant and a running mate. And then locally, they also picked a person that won 2 round-trip tickets. And then the first 100 people received what they call a tax break on their next Allegiant flight, which is $21.60, which is the amount that the federal government puts on every airline ticket. And so we combined the two. And so what they had to do was first go to the GaryChicagoAirport.com and sign up for the quest. They had to like us on Facebook and Twitter. Then they had to attend the Vote for Vacation, which was September 13th at the Radisson Hotel in their parking lot. And I want to thank the Radisson for volunteering and giving us that space for free. We had a band out there. We had Big Daddy's Barbecue out there. We had a flash mob that the Emerson or Work Visual Performing Arts performed. The mayor came out there. The South Shore Convention and Visitors Bureau came out. And we hope I'm not missing anyone, but everybody participated. We had this nice event out there. And after that, for the quest, the individuals had to take a picture in front of their front of their city hall and post it to our Facebook page. So if you go to the Gary Chicago International Facebook page, which is facebook.com/GCI Airport, they can see some of the photos that those contestants took in front of their city hall, and a lot of them wore costumes and acted out scenes. And so the final task for the quest was on September 29th at Marquette Park Pavilion, Marquette Park at the beach. And I want to thank the Parks Department for helping us out with that as well, the Gary Park Department, where they had to dig in the sand for some golf balls. And I want to thank the Gleason Park for donating some golf balls for us for them to find. And we ended up with a winner for that, and our grand prize was a trip for 4 to Orlando, round-trip tickets, overnight stay at the International Palms Resort, and day passes to SeaWorld and Universal Studios. And that's what we gave to our award winner, which was Callie Parkinson. And Michael Essany, he has a late-night talk show that comes on Monday through Friday on WJYS. And he announced the winner when he interviewed Gabby Douglas when she came to Gary, and he interviewed her during his show. And so we also had some other winners that won 2 round-trip tickets and overnight accommodations at the International Palms as well. So that was a great promotion to kind of create a little excitement and get people aware of the services that we offer at the Gary Chicago International Airport to Orlando.
Okay, also there's an initiative coming up in November.
Correct.
And this was something that was a brainstorm by somebody.
Yeah.
A flight with the mayor going to Florida. So how's that going now? And are there any tickets available? And how are you going about to do that?
Yes, on November 8th, we're going to take a flight with the mayor, yourself, Steve Landry, myself, and maybe a few others. We're going to fly down to Orlando. Once we get to Orlando, the city mayor of Sanford, the city manager, the airport director, I believe he's going to be there. They're going to greet us when we come off the airplane so that we can start a working relationship with them. That way, when things are happening in Orlando, they can let us know. We can advertise that if you want to go to Orlando, this is what's happening, and take advantage of those very cost-effective flights. And I just want to go backtrack. When we gave that prize to Callie and her friends to take down to Orlando, I just wanted to let you know what the price costs. So here again, let me reiterate what they receive. 4 round-trip tickets, 4-day passes to SeaWorld one day, the next day Universal Studios, and then the other piece was overnight stay at the International Palms Resort for 4 days and 3 nights. When I looked up what the cost and what we would have to, provide them was $1,500 bucks. So just imagine a family of 4 being able to go down there and take place with all that. Because when you go to Allegiant's website, you can book your rent-a-car, the hotel rooms, and get those discounted attraction tickets. And I did it all through their website, and it came to $1,583.
And you did that all through Allegiant's website.
Yeah. So what
and
you
what's the website for Allegiant? If you want to go straight to Allegiant, what's that website?
It's Allegiant.com. Allegiant is spelled ALLEGIANT. But what we prefer people to do is to go to the GaryChicagoAirport.com website and then click on the book travel. And the reason for that is so that Allegiant understands that we're actually promoting their airlines and their services, and they can see the traffic coming from our website to them when they book their travel. And that way it shows great community support to Allegiant, and they continue to want to look at ways that they can expand here.
Okay, so the average ticket for a flight from the Gary Chicago Airport, International Airport, what's the average tickets price? I know we have ups and downs.
Correct.
That fluctuate. But when is the best time to go economically? When is the best season to go?
Well, of course, when you're around the holidays, it can be very pricey. But typically, when you look at their website, especially as you book things out in advance, if it's not around a holiday, you can fly down for as low as $51.30. And then a return flight can be as low as $55.30. As a matter of fact, it's a great time for now if you're looking to travel to Orlando or a quick getaway. You can go to their website, and from December 2nd to December 19th, you can fly down for $51.30 and come back for $55.30. And that's a price that they say they're going to keep locked no matter how many seats and things are sold, because they want to kind of make sure that people use those flights and take a vacation before Christmas.
So all that's occurring within the first 2 weeks of December.
Correct. And as you when you go to their website and you put in flight or flight only, if you just want to check flights, they have all the prices that are available throughout throughout their system all the way up to April. Because right now, for some of the students that may be watching, if you're thinking about a spring break trip, because you know how spring break is in Florida, that's where you want to go. I finally made it myself to Daytona Beach. You can book your spring break flights as we speak up into April 2013.
And the Orlando area is close to what other major areas, and what's the driving distance?
Yeah, once you fly into Sanford Orlando Airport, it's 38 miles to Orlando. And once you get into Orlando, of course, you have all these different attractions down there besides Disney World. And another place that I wanted to visit is called Gatorland down there, so you can see some real live alligators. And so there are several different things you can do in the Orlando area. Excuse me. This allergy season has been very terrible on me. And so there's tons to do, and that's our purpose for this trip on November 8th, is to go down there so they can put a face. And so when we call and ask for information, people have a tendency to work with you when they know who you are.
Right. They also have the Holy Land, the reconstruction of the Holy Land in Orlando also.
Yeah, so you can go get your spirit filled.
That's right. Get your spirit filled and go through and see the places where Jesus walked the earth, and you can go and actually witness the crucifixion. Is all set up like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Orlando is a vacation mecca, and that was one of the reasons why how Allegiant looks at where they want to fly to, because they target small airports like ours, or secondary airports, since we're like the 3rd airport to Chicago, and small cities. And their whole ideal is to take those families and be able to send them to those famous vacation destinations. And by hopefully the spring, their runway should be complete, or on its way to being complete.
2013, December 2013.
Yeah, but the spring they'll move those railroad tracks, and there's a great possibility once those tracks are moved, then they can connect the extension to the actual runway, that they may look at trying to go to Las Vegas by the summer. You never know how it's going to happen, but as long as we stay on task with the completion of the construction out there, I believe all things can be moving forward even before the actual set date, 2013.
Okay, James, in your closing remarks, I want you to share, first of all, I want to thank you for coming, taking time out of your busy schedule to come, and I'm glad I was a part of you coming into the Gary Chicago International Airport. Your reviews and your interviews were just outstanding.
Oh, well, thank you.
And I want to let you know that you really never really had any real competition.
But thank you. I appreciate
So you
it.
keep on studying, you keep on praying. Okay?
Right, I'm gonna keep praying for real.
As you close out now, are you available to come and speak to groups about the vacation sites and Allegiant and what you can do to promote any trip that they might take?
Yes, I encourage people to come out or call the airport. You can call me directly at 949-4910. If you have
Area code 219.
Area code 219. My email is jward@gyyymail.com. GYY is the identification that the FAA gives us, so that's why it's GYY, not Gmail, but GYYmail.com. And I would encourage people that if they have interest about what's going on at the airport, I'll be glad to come out and do a presentation and even possibly have Steve Landry, the airport director, to come on out and explain some of the technical parts, because he has the technical part down to a
Well, what we're talking about now actually is those may be some clubs or groups of things, or even church organizations that are interested in taking a trip. And could you take them, take them through the details and let them know what's available?
Oh, absolutely.
In Orlando, and how they go about making their reservation website, because sometimes you have seniors. All seniors
Correct.
are not computer literate. Okay.
Right.
And would you be willing to work with those type of groups?
Absolutely.
And go by and enhance their trip by making it easier for them to get to that way.
See, that pulls on the teacher in me, the teacher spirit in me. So yes, if anyone has any difficulties with working online, because I have done that, where I've called, different people have called me, and I said, well, just go online, we're going to do this together, and I'll walk them right through it, and I do it at the same time at my desk. So yes, if there's any individuals who need some assistance with booking or having difficulties, by all means give me a call, because that's my purpose, to make sure that you have a great experience with the Gary Chicago International Airport.
Okay, give us your email one more time.
jward@gyyymail.com.
All right, you've been watching Taking Off with the Gary Chicago Airport Show. I've been your host, Pastor Marion Johnson Jr. A very special guest today has been Mr. James Ward, the marketing director at the airport, doing a very fine job, and we wish you the best, James.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for watching, and tune in again real soon.